Hello, my name is Jennifer Peters. I am the chef that created Nextjen Gluten-Free. And I'm here at Barbara Jo's beautiful cookbook shop to give you a demo on making brioche. Brioche is a nice rich egg bread, something that if you're gluten-free you probably miss eating. Obviously we need something to bake with when we're baking gluten-free that is going to have enough starch, enough flavor. And so I spent a lot of time kind of obsessing and thinking about what does flour taste like, what does it do, and when you take it away, what do you need to replace it with? And that's how I came up with our blend. You just come, take the flour, and use it as an exact replacement in all of your recipes. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We've got our flour. We're including a little evangelina yeast today. The rest of the ingredients for our brioche today, fairly straightforward. We have milk, we have butter, we have eggs, of course. We are going to be using dry yeast. It's an instant dry yeast, so it dissolves very quick, very easy. A little bit of sugar, because there's always a touch of sugar in brioche, not a lot, but a little. And we are adding a little bit of baking powder as a booster. So for making our brioche, the first step is going to be that we're going to actually heat up our milk and our butter, which isn't typical in your everyday brioche recipe. We're heating up all the liquids because it helps give us a little extra stretch. I'm going to leave that there for a second while I set up in my mixer. Not your typical mixer, but we are making our brioche in a food processor. So my flour is going in my food processor, all of it. In goes the evangelina yeast, like I said, that's for a little bit of flavor. The salt for the recipe. I'm going to turn the food processor on to 1. It's a little noisy, sorry. And then I'm pouring it all in. And you're going to notice that a lot of the top is just crumbly and the bottom here is getting moist. Back to the eggs here. And I'm cracking 8 of the 9 eggs in here, and I am cracking 1 single egg in that bowl so I can mix it with my leaveners. So now we've got what looks almost a bit like a batter. In gluten-free baking, you don't have to worry too much about, overworking the gluten. So that's why I choose to do a lot of my recipes in a food processor, which is not typical. You wouldn't do this with a wheat recipe. I always reserve the last egg because I don't want to have other liquids in this recipe, and the egg will nicely help the yeast to soften. And so my yeast is going in with that. My sugar goes in. Sugar feeds the yeast. And you can see it's already just starting to bubble. In here I'm putting my baking powder, and at the end of the recipe it says there's another 10 grams of flour to add. And so I am going to add that to this mixture, and then this is quickly going into our brioche batter. There we go. So you see that little bit of leavener in the last egg, it actually has thickened up the batter a little bit. I'm going to grab my molds and we're going to get ready to bake. You don't want to overfill your molds because these are going to come up quite a bit. That's about 3/4 full. Quick little dusting of the gluten-free flour on top, just a tiny, right? So proofing is a really important step. You're going to need to proof until they're double in size, and that can be anywhere from half an hour. It could take 40 minutes, depending on the temperature in your kitchen. So as you can see, the brioche is doubled in size. So I've set my oven to 350 bake with the fan on. If you have a convection fan, please use your convection fan. It will come up, it will help a little to keep the air moving and get those brioche to rise a little bit more as they bake. These will be in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. And we have brioche. There we go. They do unmold fairly easily. This is your gluten-free brioche from Nextjen. We are at www.nextjen.ca. We have lots of recipes for you to check out on our website.